Okay, let's get started using SketchUp by making these two basic shapes. Here is a close-up view of that shape, and here's how you get started in SketchUp. Go to the SketchUp free website, log in using your Google account, and then create a new object. What we're going to do is maybe center up on this first. You're going to use this pan tool on the left-hand side, which is a finger with two arrows. Pull it over like that. And if you want to zoom in, you can use this magnifying glass by clicking and going up and down. Or what you can do is use your scroll wheel that will also zoom in and out with your mouse. So what we're going to do is make this basic shape right here. Looks like we have 5 different boxes here. So what I'm going to do is start off by making a rectangle. And I'm going to go here and then out this way. Now what you can do, as you see down here at the bottom, is toggle different features. And so if you hit the control key, you'll make a center rectangle. But we want to make a corner rectangle so it's over this way. Then we're going to make it a size that's comparable to that person. So let's go down here to the dimension tool. If you don't see that, you go down here to the triple dot and select it from the list. All right, so I'm going to be doing dimensions of this side right there. We're going to leave it at 61. We already see that over here, I think it's going to be actually 16. And then on this side, be careful when you're dimensioning not to click the center, the midpoint. You're going to go off to the edge every time because measuring from the center point gives you a different type of thing. So let's zoom in a little bit here and set our sizes properly. And I believe it's going to be 33 inches this way and 16 inches back that way. So to do that, we're going to use this tool right here called Scale. And you click on the object. You might actually have to go up here to the arrow, then click on the object, then back to Scale sometimes. And then what you're going to do is just move one of these green boxes just a little bit. And then once you move it a little bit, you can type in 16 quote, that's a double quote for inches, and then hit enter. So that's one of the dimensions. Now we're going to go this direction over here. And we're going to say that's going to be 33 inches, like so. And so there is that box right there next to the guy right there. We'll see how high this needs to be. Looks like it's got to be 48 inches plus the 16 right there. So that's going to be 64 inches. So what we're going to do is go over here to the push-pull tool, and we're going to pull this next to this guy over here, all the way up there. Now, what you could do is just release at that point or click, and if you type in 64 double quotes, you see it down here on the bottom right-hand side, press enter, and now you can see that this brick right here, and right now I'm pressing down on my scroll wheel, and I'm able to orbit. If you don't have that scroll wheel and can't push it down, you can just go orbit over here. So you just click and move around. So you can see that this guy is probably like 6'4". This is, I think, 5'4" on the height of this box right here. So we're going to put 2 boxes in the front of this, and then we'll raise this part of the box in the middle after we get everything lined up there, after we get all 5 of those boxes set up. So let's zoom in on this area and make 2 boxes down here. So we're going to make a rectangle, starts right here, then comes out here, just an arbitrary distance, and then start right here and go over this way. And we'll do just like we did before, just make it, a shape that doesn't necessarily look right, but then we can force it to be correct. If we go over like this, type in 16. Oh, wait, we can't do that actually. So you actually have to use the dimensions first, and then we have to go in and use the resize tool. So then you go up here to the arrow, click on the object that you want to resize. You see right there, it says scale. So click on the scaling factor. If we move this one right here a little bit and then type in 16, you'll see that it changed this one to 16. If we move this one right here a little bit, I'll even move it a lot, type in 16, it's going to make that a 16 by 16 square. Now, if it doesn't look that way to you, then what you can do is just orbit around a little bit, like this right here. And then you see, oh yeah, it is a square. It's just foreshortened by the perspective that we have. So again, click on this, select the object you want to resize, click on resize, and then move this one just a little bit. I'm going to move it a lot just to prove my point. And then we got this other one this way, and make sure that one's 16 inches. So it says 16 and 16. And because it's 33 across, we have a 1-inch gap right through the middle. Now it looks like the height of these needs to be 24 inches. So you grab this right here, click on this one and pull it up. And then I think that if you just type in 24 and hit enter, it will automatically size it. You can also go up too high and then just move your mouse away and then still click 24 and you're back to where you needed to be. Let's orbit around on the other side and make two identical boxes. And then we'll raise the middle of this and put a hole in the top. You see you got a 10-inch hole in the top that we're going to make as well. So use the orbit tool to orbit all the way around and zoom back a little bit, maybe even use pan. So we're using zoom like this, we're using pan, and we're using orbit just to move our way around. Then we go back up to the rectangle tool, just draw an arbitrary rectangle. I'm going to show you how to make it exactly 16 by 16 one just by clicking here and then going out. And then I think if you click again, if you type in 16 inches, comma, 16 inches, you'll see that it automatically makes it a square. You can see the dimensions are down here at the bottom. But of course, we can, of course, check that with our dimension tool by clicking not in the middle, but over here on the side. That's perfectly 16 by 16. And then this one needs to be resized, of course. And you know how to do that. Just click on the object, highlight it. You can see a bunch of dots there. Click on the scaling tool, go this way, 16, double quote, and then 16 inches. See the symbol right down here, 16 inches. That looks like it's the same size. So now we can get rid of that highlight tool for the rescale. And we're going to use the push-pull tool. So I clicked on that, highlighted this one. I'm going to go up, and then again, I'm going to type in 24 inches, and then 24 inches for this one, giving me exactly the height that I need. So it looks pretty good. Looking like the diagram over here. It does look like we have kind of a breezeway through this. I guess you could think about it as being a um, skyscraper or something like that. And you can have cars driving through there. Let's see. I think that's going to be probably 20 inches. Let's see. Is it labeled anywhere? I don't see it labeled anywhere, but let's see if 20 inches looks right. So for this one, what you want to do is orbit, go all the way down here to the bottom, like that. And use the push-pull tool like this, push it up a little bit. And if we click, we can kind of move away. But if you're still kind of like right after the click, you can type in 20 inches to see if that takes us to the right place. That kind of looks right. We double check. So that's actually not correct. If you look at this shape, it's really a square, and what I have here is a rectangle. So what I could do is undo it by hitting Control Z. So that's another tool that you have. Control Z brings us back down here. And you can even Control Z back and get rid of those squares over there. And then to move forward, you can use Control Y to get them back again. All right, so since this is 16 inches here, this is also going to need to be 16 inches right there to make it a square. Okay, now it's going to look like that one right there. Looking good. Using our pan tool to move around to make it look exactly like it does there in the picture. Let's go up to the top and put a circle or a hole right up there. And we might as well make it 16 inches deep. And it looks like it's 10 inches in diameter or 5 inches in radius. So let's zoom way in on that right there. We need a way to find the midpoint. So to find the midpoint, if you use the drawing tool and you hover over this line, see how it turned blue right there? That's the midpoint. So let's go from midpoint here to midpoint there. And then we'll go from midpoint here to midpoint there. And now we have found the center. Now what you can do is draw a circle. And so if you don't see the circle, you can click the triple dots at the bottom, select circle. And once you get an arbitrarily sized circle there, you see down here at the bottom, it says radius is that. Now we really want it to be 5. So we just type 5 inches. And then because it's 5 inches on the radius, you'll be able to see that this is actually from there to there going to be 10 inches. Now, for some reason, it says 9.7. Let's see what I did. Did I not click exactly in the right spot? Or Did I not exactly click the radius properly? So let's do it one more time. Click here in the middle, and then you click again, and then type in 5 inches. All right, so now what we want to do is push that hole in so that it's 16 inches deep. But if you use the push pull tool here, you see that it's only doing a quarter of it, and we'd have to do 4 of them. So instead of that, I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to use a new tool up here called the eraser tool. So you click on it, and then you just click and drag across these things that you don't want there. So I'm clicking, dragging, releasing. And there is left just a circle that's in the middle of it. Then I can go like this, move it down just a little bit, then type in 16 inches, and that's how far it will go down. All right, let's see if we're back to where we needed to be with everything there. So back to the orbit tool like this. Zooming back, does this look like our part? Yeah, it looks really good. It's even got the dimensions in there. You can put the other ones in there if you want to, like that 48, for example. Suppose we can put that one in there. Let's see if it'll let us do that one. So if you click on this line right here, yeah, it looks like it's only going to give us this top part, which is 40, and it would be 80 from all the way down. I'm sorry, 48 if I went to the bottom. Now I might be able to go from here up to there, and now we can see that it's 48. And you can also go from here to here and see that we really got this right. It was supposed to be 16. All right, good. Now let's make this other shape that's over to the right-hand side. So it's going to look like this. And so you can imagine this is going to be a block that's going to kind of turn over, and this hole needs to fit inside of there. So this, I guess, housing area could kind of rotate around on this unusual structure. Consider it to be like a building or a skyscraper of some kind. All right, I'm going to move this around a little bit. Let's see, what we want to do on this one is use the pan tool to move around because we're going to draw this out to the side, as you see right here. Looking closely at this one, you can see that it is 33 inches, and also it's going to be just a cube. So let's make them 33 all the way around. Now, what you can do is after you get started on this, it should let you click right there. There we go. And then go over here. If you release and then type in 33 inches, comma, 33 inches, it'll automatically size that. And you don't have to use that tool like we did before, where we said, let's put in the dimensions like this. And then we click on the object itself. And then we rescale. And so now you can see this one's going 33 and beyond that way. I can still do this though. I can bring it back to 33 like that. And it doesn't look like a square until we orbit over the top like that. You see it is indeed a square. How high do we want this? Well, we want it to be a cube. So we click and raise it up a little bit, and then we type in the dimensions that we want, 33. The last thing we have here is a cylinder that we're going to raise up instead of push in. And you know how this goes, right? You draw a circle on the top. Now you can try to maybe draw a circle getting close to the center, but it's hard to find it. So we often use a midpoint tool right here to help us find the center. And then we erase these lines later. Now, looking at the size of this one, it says 9.9 inches. So that means if we take that and divide it by 2, what is that going to be? 4.95? All right, and we will check that result to make sure it's right. Now, it needs to be just, the hole is 10 inches, and this right here needs to be smaller so that the cylinder can fit inside of that hole. Let's make sure I got the dimensions right. I put 9.95 inches on that. Let's make sure. Oh, here's a measuring tool right here. Let's see if it'll give us the value from there to there. And you can see right down there at the bottom, it says the length from there to there is 9.9. You can also use the Smart Dimension tool right here and come over there. You can also see that it's almost that way. It's probably because I didn't click exactly on that line. But fortunately, because we typed in those numbers, we have it right. All right, so you know what to do next, right? Erase the things because we're going to make a cylinder that rises up. Now, if you happen to just want to have an unusual kind of cylinder coming up there, I guess it's not going to let me go that high. So this one can be higher. I mean, that would be unusual, right? But we don't really want to do that. So remember how to get rid of changes you don't like, hit Control Z. Then we get our eraser tool. I'm going to click and drag all the way around to erase those things. I'm going to click and drag all the way around to get that. Now, if you click right here and erase it, I think you're going to actually erase the side. So we're not going to do that. All right, so let's click like that. And then we're going to raise this up using our push-pull tool, going up like that. It's not letting me go up very high, so I'm just going to see if it'll let me do 16 inches. And it did. All right, so let's get us back to the proper size like this. Okay. Um, our proper scaling factor using our pan tool. And so do we have what we were looking for like there? Looks like we've got everything correct, just like we're set up right here. Let's do a couple of other things. Let's put some artwork on this thing. How about some kind of grid pattern over here on this side? Then we'll also paint the building afterwards as well. So let's go in close and let's do our midpoint like we did before. Like go right here. There's the midpoint. There it is. All right. Now I wonder if we can also just face this. Now I think what you can do is right click on this and say, let's see, align view. So now we're kind of looking right at it. Sometimes it helps us see and sketch things a little bit easier. We're going to use this measuring tool, or it's called the tape measure like that. And you're going to click right here and then come down a little bit. Let's just go 4 inches. And so you can see that each time I click and then draw it down here, I can even make it like, just a weird distance and then type in 4 inches and it'll bring it right back. And look at this. It looks like it kind of snaps into this position. So that's pretty cool. It snaps into 4 inches once we get the process started. So I'm clicking, dragging, it snaps. And so I'm kind of getting close to a grid. Let's see if it'll do it this way also. Look at that. So click and then click, click, and then click. And it looks like how it's going to give us an easy grid to work with. Okay, so now let's just draw some shapes on here. And then we'll use our paint bucket to kind of fill in the shapes. So I'm going to use my pen over here, and I'm going to draw just a square over on this side like that. And then all the way back over here. I'm going to make sure that all of that is solid square. That looks pretty good. I'm going to make another one over here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see. And then I guess from here, let's just make like another rectangle. Maybe like just do some unusual things, like go up like this, like this. Oh, that kind of gave us a little bit off. So you can always hit Control Z, get the line tool back again. So there to there. So I'm trying to get it so it locks into that position. You see, I didn't do very good on that one. So when in doubt, just hit Control Z until you lock into that position. So I'm just making a random shape here. Maybe make it symmetric. Let's see, I got to get my pan tool out because it's starting to get off the screen. Bringing it back, getting my line tool, going like this, there, there, there. Oh yeah, let's just go ahead and make it symmetric all the way around like so. Okay, so now we want to paint in these areas, but let's get rid of all these construction lines. So let's use our eraser tool to get rid of all of that right there. And then we don't want to get rid of that cylinder, so we want to be careful and just erase those. All right, let's erase another couple of areas like this. And let's get some black paint like this. And then we'll just paint in that area right there. Then what we could do is maybe use some different materials. Let's see, can I use these materials over here? How about some 3D printing material? Let's use this green right here, kind of color that in. Then we just basically color in the entire rest of your thing. This is an unusual building, right? I don't know why those windows are blacked out. They are. All right, let's get every bit of this painted green. That way we can see what it's going to look like if we 3D print this object. Now, this is a big object. Can you imagine turning this thing over and putting it on the top of that? And then get the pan tool to move back over and seeing how it's next to this guy over here. So this actually would end up being taller than the person there. Kind of a menacing shape, of course. Wonder if I can get it all the way in the middle there in paint, and then right in here in paint, and then around here. Okay. And if the guy gets in the way, you can erase him also. Let's go ahead and paint the whole thing. Um, I'll pause the video to paint the rest of this so you don't have to watch me click around. I'll come right back. Okay, so it looks like I got all the sides painted. I can close up that tool and orbit around so that it looks like this right here. But now mine's painted. It looks like maybe I missed a spot there, but you can just go back to the painting tool again and paint right there and close it down again. And so that's how you get started using SketchUp. Looking at the tools, maybe from top to bottom, the eraser tool, the line tool, rectangle, push pull. This is move. We didn't really use this one very much. We'll be using that one in the next video. This one right here is to rotate an object, which we might try to do in a minute. Then rescale this right here. Rescaling the squares or rectangles, painting, orbiting, panning, measuring, dimensioning, and zooming, and circling. All right, let's see if I can maybe rotate this guy around here. So it looks like we might be able to get familiar with all of these tools. So we're about to use the rotating tool. Before we start to use it, we want to select the object we want to rotate. So use the selection tool, and make a box around the entire thing like that. This is the object we want to rotate. So now we're going to use the rotate tool right there. Let's click it right there in the middle somewhere, then maybe like down here. Then rotate it all the way around like this. Then stop. And then what we can try to do is use the move tool after that. Let's see if that's going to happen here. Move it up a little bit, like so. All right, let's see if the move tool will help us line these up. Looks pretty good there. You see, it's not really lined up forward and back, so I'll move this. Well, it doesn't look like it handled that very well. So let's orbit around until we get in a good position here. So going back over here to orbit, are we there? Kind of, but not exactly right. So you can play around with this until you get it right. Since the object is still highlighted, it looks like we can still move it. Let's move it a little bit to the right until it gets right there in the middle of this. Looks like it's trying to snap into a particular position there, making it more difficult to put in the center, but not bad. I'll let you work on it a little bit more to get it better than I did. Let's see if I can move it a little bit more. Looks like it's trying to move it the wrong direction. So we'll get more familiar with this tool a little bit as we move through this course. And then what we can probably do is go up to the top and rotate it also. So once you get it close, let's just go up here to the top and get our rotating tool out again. Wait, that's not the rotating tool. Here it is. So somewhere, let's say in the middle, if we can get to the middle, somewhere, we'll just assume it's right there. Then go over here, let's rotate it just maybe about 45 degrees. Okay, let's come back to the beginning and we'll wrap up this video. All right, not bad, right? Unusual office building, wouldn't you say? And if we 3D printed this object, this head up here would rotate around, of course. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next video.